Good morning. Hey, waiting for the connection here. I gotta make sure I'm on here. Good morning. It's Tuesday, December 14th, 2021. My name is Terry Morgan. We are here to practice Wudang Taiji. Hang on a second. Yeah, that's better. A little bright over on this side. Alright, so we have a couple of things, and we'll get started. Me and my coffee. Alright, so I have been talking about, and beginning this week, I've started sort of presenting what will be my new format for these classes beginning in January. What I've been doing, something different every day, with Qigong on Thursday and Friday. And that works really well if I'm teaching in person. People come to class, they're going to learn this, they're going to come back the next week, they're going to learn some more about this. Over time, we build up the skills and we build up the knowledge so that our practice can improve. One of the issues with video is that it is two-dimensional. I don't really have 3 dimensions here. It looks flat. So some of the things that I'm presenting need more explanation. They need another perspective. There needs to be something more to be able to understand exactly what I'm talking about. And this is particularly true with the changes that we have in multiple dimensions. So I ran into this with our sword form, Wudang Taiji sword. There's a turn at the end of the form, and we're going to cover it again tomorrow. That is difficult to show on video. It's difficult enough in person, but it's harder to show on the video. Okay, so I turned around a couple of times. This idea that there needs to be some more explanation is where I'm going. I'm going to put this down. We'll get started. So my vision for this is that there will be days when I'm focused on the movement. We're going to pay attention to this movement. We're going to pay attention to that movement. We're going to focus on moving. Those days, less talk, more movement. Other times, where there needs to be some explanation, and I'm going to review this briefly this morning, just because I covered it yesterday, I'm going to cover it again today. There needs to be some explanation for certain things because you can't see them. It's physically not possible to see them. Even if you were in person, you wouldn't see it. Okay? And what I'm talking about specifically is the position of my foot. And the toes grip the floor, grip the ground, grip the shoe, pull up through the arch, sink through the heel. You cannot physically see that. Even if I'm standing back where you can see my feet, you cannot see what I'm actively doing with my foot. You can't. There are other things that are visible to the human eye, but not so much to the camera. Okay? Camera has its limitations. Now, that being said, there are some other things that the camera can do really well. Okay? But the idea that I just bent my knees. Did you see it? I don't think so. I didn't intend for you to see it. If you'd been standing next to me in person, you would have noticed. If you knew what to look for. Alright, so that knowing what to look for, what should I have seen? What should I be paying attention to? is something I used to do with my students. So we'd all go to a tournament and we'd sit up in the gallery and I'd be commenting on people that are doing this and people that is, oh, look at this person over here, they're doing this thing really, really well. Pay attention to that. This person over here needs work on these things. See what that looks like. So that my students would not only have me and each other to compare with, they would have other people that they could be sitting passively and watching, so they could understand the concepts that I'm talking about, and then be able to apply them. Continuous movement. All right? My hand is moving and it's not stopping. The video shows you at this point it appears to stop, at this point it appears to stop, and then change to the other direction. There's no stopping. I didn't stop. I included some internal energy, some of this Nageln that I talk about, the internal workmanship, through that extension. If you were looking at what I'm doing in person, your eye would see it. The camera doesn't. That's the kind of thing that I'm going to be bringing out quite a bit more after the first of the year. Today we're going to work on part 2 of Wudang Taiji. And we're going to review several things along with a little bit, not a lot, a little bit of analysis so that you get a little bit more of a sense of what's going on behind the art. That explanation that I'm talking about. All right. Let's get started. Feet about shoulder width apart. Stand straight. Bend the knees. Open the arms. Wiggle the fingers. Toes grip the floor just a little bit. Pull up through the arch. Drop the heel. Stand straight. Pull up through the crown of the head. Hand circle to the front. Back around both sides. Up along center line. Reach out. Bend the knees. Roll up through the back. And again, reach out. One more time. Stretch up. Reach out. And elbows drop down, wrists, fingertips, hands return to your sides. Alright, with Wudang Taiji, we have some dynamic that is part of, needs to be part of Wudang Taiji. And that includes using the lower tian. Okay, so lower tian turns, waist turns, hips turn, shoulders, everything moves. Okay? And this idea that we have what Professor Liu called the swimming fish. Okay, so the yin fish and the yang fish. Yin and yang symbol. Right, so yin fish, yang fish. They are complements and they are always together. If there's yin, there's yang. How much yin, how much yang, depends. They're always together and they're moving. Right? So as we move, we internalize that, this Nageln, internal workmanship. We internalize that so that the lower tian turns, that drives the waist drives the upper body and the lower body. Full connection. Elbows with the knees, shoulders with the hips, hands with the feet. Everything stays connected. This coordinated movement is fundamental for all of the Taiji systems. Anybody who's practicing, fully coordinated movement. Upper body with the lower body. If your stepping method is incorrect, your footwork maybe has some issues, the rest of your body will appear to be out of balance. The same with the upper body. If you're doing something that's only with your hands or only with your forearm, the rest of your body is not engaged, and the movement will appear static and awkward. Not something we want. We want that coordinated, smooth movement. All right. Wudang Taiji, part 2. Feet together, stand straight. Relax the shoulders. Relax the breath. Breathe in. Breathe out. And breathe in again. And breathe out. And breathe in. Salute. And breathe out. Breathe in. Shift to the right, sink, open left, and turn. Left, come across, and down on the right, up along the center line. Press up, palm supporting heaven, alligator playing in the water. And turn, yin and yang both appear. Push, pull down, come to the other side, and push. Step back. Return the tiger to the mountain. And again, return the tiger. Turn. Double cloud hands. Single cloud hands. 1, 2. Hold ball left side. Right heel. Toe. Ward off. Pull down. Shift back. Ward off. Pull down. Press. And push. Double cloud hands. Single cloud hands. Hold ball right side. 1, 2. Ward off, pull down. On the left. Up. Down. Center. And down. Double cloud hands. Single cloud hands. 1, 2. Hands cross. Open. Push out. 1, 2, 3. Punch down. Set back. Push back the monkey. And palm up and down. Knee let see bottom, bend through the back. Turn around and chop. One, 2, 3. Single whip. Palms. And cloud hands. 1, 2, 3. And I have to back up. Cloud hands again. 1, 2, 3. One more. And 1. Turn. Up. Down. Bring right down. Up from underneath. 1, 2, 3. Open. To the left. Right toe. Come around. To the right. Left toe. Brush knee. Jump. Up. Now I'm not jumping this morning. Alright. As we come around. Brush knee. Up, right foot, in, circle, 1, 2. And I have to back up again. I'm going to talk about this in a minute. 2, down 1, 2, 3, set, out, turn, ready, and come around, up, and close. We do end up facing the opposite direction where we start. I'm going to get some coffee. All right, there are, as you can see, there are techniques that we use to travel, right? All of this is, I'm traveling back and forth, right? As we practice, given that we have enough room, okay, so, I mean, a lot of these forms were created outside. There wasn't a room limitation. There wasn't a studio limitation. It was, we're outside and we go as far as we can. Okay, don't fall off a cliff. Right? When we move from that outside environment to where we have walls, we end up, more often than not, having to back up. The form travels. All right, as we get to this last segment, right, we have, I'm going to start over here. Do this with me. We're going to start with cloud hands, and then we're going to do this ending segment. Okay? Cloud hands, cloud hands, cloud hands, turn around, up, down, come from under, up, all of that. Feet together, stand straight. Breathe. Relax through the upper back. And step out, come around. 1. Double cloud hands. Double cloud hands. And double cloud hands again. 2. And turn up, down, set, come from under, punch out, down, step, down, open, to the left, toe, brush knee, come around, circle, out to the right, left toe, brush knee, step up, jump, and land. All right, keep going. All right, backed up. All right, step up, jump, land. And I have to do it. I have to think where my foot is. All right, so brush knee, step up, jump. There we go. Right foot front. All right. Turn the heel. Heel, heel, down. 1, 2, 3. Set back. Turn. Ready. Come around. Outward sweep. Both fists up. Pull in and close. And face the other way and do this ending. Right? So you can see it. So come down. 1, 2, 3. Turn. Come around. And up. And close. now, I'm talk about this just real quick, and then we'll do a little bit more. This turn is a 360 turn, and it's done in the air. It's not done with a spin. It's done up in the air. All right. And I'm going to point this out because I never did learn how to do this up in the air. Okay? I know that's where it goes. My teacher that had taught me this set, he could do it. Several of my classmates could do it. There was me and a couple other folks that it just wasn't happening. All right, so part of that is training, previous training. So if you've trained in some other arts, it's kind of a requirement to be able to do this jump spin thing, right? It was never, when I studied Yang style Tai Chi, it was not part of anything that I had to learn. It was just not. It's something that we learned. The Shaolin folks that were doing stuff, that, yeah, they learned that, but I didn't. So, when I started learning Wudang style Tai Chi, we're going to do this again, it was a challenge. There were some things that just are they're part of the canon of martial arts. They're part of the fundamental things that we do in the arts. And I am going to cover some of that. Alright, so I showed some basic kicks and some basic punches from time to time. We're using a couple of those right now in this set. Understanding how the movement works, understanding the fundamentals of what we're doing through the movement, gives us the basis to make an adjustment. So, as we, if you're 16, 17 years old and you're learning this, the chances that you would learn the jump are really pretty good. If I'd been 16, 17 when I started, I would have learned the jump. But I wasn't. It didn't happen. If you're 60, 65, and you're starting to learn, the chances that you're going to learn the jump here, not very good. How do we manage that? How do we deal with that human limitation? Can I do this? Can I not? What's the risk? Am I going to try? Right? How close might I get to what I need to do? And what are the adaptations? How can we adapt the form so that regardless of physical ability, okay, regardless of the athletic ability, we can complete the form in the manner that it was intended, right? So, let's do again, and start here with just after fresh knee and jump. From here, turn foot, open, left foot, right foot. The target is a knee. Come under, sink down under, sink and come under, step back, out, get ready to turn, and one, come around, bring the leg up, both hands double punch, pull in, and close. Each of these moves, right? Let me do it again. This time, I'm going to use the minimum effort, the minimum extension. So where does what part go? Minimum to be correct. So I'm here, turn the foot, still going to the knee, still going to the knee, step, and I'm not sinking very much, am I? Come through, one more time, come through, step, extend the hands, turn around. I'm going to walk it this time, turn the foot, 1, 2, 3, 4, sweep, and up. As I walk this around, right? I'm here. Right foot's going to turn. Left foot comes around. Right foot comes back. Left foot comes around. Weight's on the left. Bring the right up and out. This doesn't require a spin. It requires footwork. One more time. Let me do it this other way. Face here. Right foot, turn, 1. Left foot, right foot, on the left, open, and up. One more time. Set. Turn the right, place the left, step right, turn left, up, and out. The weight change, how we transfer the weight, something I've talked about repeatedly, is part of what we're using here. As my right foot turns, I've shifted to the left. Now I've got on the right, left foot place. As I step behind, I'm going to get ready on the left because the right needs to come up. Right? That simple transfer. Turn, step, step, place, and up. Just about anybody can do that. It doesn't require athletic ability. It doesn't require the ability to execute the turn. It requires that you be well placed, centered, and pay attention to where your weight is so that you can move. One more time. Face this way. I'm just going to walk through it. Turn the right, step left, step behind, turn left, come around, and up. Again. Right, left, sweep, and up. This stepping gives us the balance positions and the weight transfer to do the jump. I'm here. This is going to come up, right? Little hop. I'm going to get there, right? This leg comes up. That's what takes you up in the air. So, left comes up, right comes up and sweeps around while you're in the air. Okay? That dynamic, sweep while you're in the air, is not as easy as it looks. The hip needs to be open, and the body needs to be able to complete the turn without the leg driving you off balance so that you fall down and end up in a not correct position, right? As we pay attention, one more time here. As we pay attention to turning the foot, right? Turn the right, step left, come around right, and through. I probably should move my hands while I'm doing that. I was paying attention to my feet. Now, one more time. Turn, 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 and set. That last turn would be landing to here. Alright? Now, one of these days I'm going to have a student that can do this, and I'll get it on video, or I might try and get somebody else to do this for me so we can see it. Alright, there's a bunch of stuff out there. Alright, but I'd like it to be part of this form, so we'll see. As we try to adapt, we need to keep in mind what the original was, right? I'm traditional. I don't want to change the form. I don't want to make it into something else. I don't want to adjust it and have everything else be my adjustment. There's enough of me in this already, okay? The tradition and the way that we practice matters to me, okay? That traditional method. How should the form be practiced? How should we pay attention to these moves? What kinds of things are we expected by the form? What kinds of things are we expected to do? That matters to me. To continue the tradition and not explain this segment, I would consider that to be wrong, okay? I would. To not consider how we can practice if we don't have the athletic ability would also be wrong. Okay? Not everybody jumps up in here. Me, hi. Not everybody jumps up in here with ease. I don't. How can we manage that? How can we adjust so that we can continue our practice? All right, part of my solution here I added a spin. The spin is there. Okay? There is a spin. It's up and down. That movement would have been complete here. Right? I'm going to come down and up. With that in mind, what am I going to do? How am I going to adjust? Spin, right? A little bit of timing, a little bit of understanding here what I'm doing. As I come around, right? Left comes up. Right would have come up if I wasn't standing on it, right? So I'm here, come around, and don't lose your balance. I'm trying to do this too much, and I'm causing my own issues, right? Too much force will put you off balance just as much as too little. Here, come around. One more time. That turn, how we land, where we step. Excuse me. And I'm going to stop for a second. All right. Turning. I'm going to walk it. Turn, 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 step, and out. Do again. This other, the other way. And turn the right, step left, turn right, step left, up, and out. My ankle and my foot. Go this way. Alright, I'm not happy with that, and you shouldn't be either. Alright, this effort one more time. Is not happening today. All right. There are a couple things that are going on, and I'm going to talk about it. From here, my focus is let me do this turn, right? I want to do this turn. That's throwing me off balance. I'm going to do this turn. I'm not thinking about placement. I'm not thinking about how well balanced I am. I'm thinking, I'm going to do this turn. Balance. Center. A little bit better. I'm still wobbling a bit. I'm still not as well placed over this foot as I should be. I'm in a hurry to put my left foot down. Okay? Some of that is just me this morning. Practice is what we do. All right? Some of that is I'm trying too hard. All right? I am. I'm trying too hard. And as I turn, I really want to bring this around. Right? And with the focus on my feet, a little better. Less effort, more correct placement, and more correct movement. The idea, and I think I talked about this before, I'm going to talk about it again. The more we grab, the more we try to bring, the more we try really hard, I'm going to try this, I'm going to try this, I'm going to try. The more we do that, the further away we get from what we need to be doing. Relax, well placed, spin. Again. Double step, a little bit. All right, how do we clean that up? More practice. Less effort. More practice. Let's start again from double cloud hands. I'm going to have to back up and go through again. Double cloud hands. Set. 1, 2, 3, turn, down, down, come under, up, out, down to the right, down to left, circle, out to the left, right toe, brush knee, come around, right side, left toe, brush knee, jump, up, out. As we come out, both hands here, use this part, the wrist, to come up, turn, heel. This is a low kick. We don't want this to go to the waist. This goes to the knee. All right? So here, right foot front, turn the right foot, left, put it down, right, put it down. Snake creeps along the ground continuously. 1, 2, 3. Set back, out, ready, and turn. Pull in, down the right, close the left, and separate. Through this series, we have several of the core movements from Wudang Taiji. Actually from Wudang martial arts generally. Our 3 basic methods include snake creeps along the ground continuously. As we're turning, we have a little bit the idea of coiling snake, right? Turn and then go, right? We'll come here, turn, and then go. As the leg comes up, again, this is up in the air, so we want to pay a little bit more attention to the leg and not so much to what we have to do with the upper body and the sustaining leg, right? We're in the air. So this comes around. It shouldn't be too much. As I come up, that arc isn't that wide. It only covers about this much. The holding strength has to come through the abs and the hip. Okay? The turning comes from the back and the abs. Right? So turn the leg, comes through the back, and comes through the abs. Holding needs to be here in the ab and in the hip because we don't have the other leg on the ground, right? So how big the arc is here, it's okay. Yeah, that's okay too. Could be better, right? For that one, I need a little bit more in the back of my hip and a little bit more through here to sustain the leg while it's up so that I'm not using my holding leg because it would be up in the air. As we come down, right, I'm here, this left is up, left goes up, right sweeps around, left comes down to step out. Paying attention to the direction change, paying attention to the movement itself, paying attention to the dynamic of the turn, all of these things matter. The physical effort needs to be combined with the internal energy, with the breath, and with the intent, so that we end up with something that is mostly correct, has the foundation that belongs with the art, and has the character of the original move, as well as carrying through the character of the art. One more time. Right foot front, both hands up. Ready, and cross hands, open 1 and 2. Down, snake creeps along the ground. Set back, out, and turn. Sweep, and up. The skills that we gain through the effort. It's not going to be perfect today. Okay? It's not. It's not going to be perfect today. Not going to happen. What did I learn today? What did I learn today? 1, 2, worked on this, right? As we turn, being more relaxed, all of that feeds into our next practice. And I talked about this a bit before, with the idea that what I'm using to go forward, this layering. First layer, physical practice. What do I do with my body? What do I do with my hands and my feet? Right? What do I do with my torso? What do I do with my legs? What do I do with my arms? What do I do with my head? Matters. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, down and around. And close. That time, I spotted correctly, turned my head properly, my body was in balance, and I didn't have to shuffle my feet. Takeaway: paying attention to the details of the movement, not trying so hard. Don't grab for it. If you grab, all you do is end up pushing away whatever you're trying to gain, whatever you're trying to get. It's a hollow log floating on water. If you push your hand through the water to try and grab the log, you can't get it. You push it away, it floats away. If, on the other hand, if instead of reaching out and trying to grab it, if you allow it to come to you, now you have it. That difference in the way that we think about what we're doing can make all the difference. I just showed you. Can make all the difference in how we move. Right? This is part of the use of intent. This is part of the use of mind. What am I thinking about doing? What do I intend to do? Right? Where is the physical movement? What do I have to do to execute this movement? What do I need to do to practice it well. Right? Awkward movement, no. Well-coordinated movement, yes. What do I need to do physically to get myself to the point that my movement is smooth and continuous? Maybe I need to step through, right? 1, 2, 3, step, and up. Maybe I need to step through that. Maybe I can spin. Maybe I'm good enough I can do that. Right? Maybe I can do the jump. Hey, bonus points. Any of these can be correct as long as we pay attention to what the original movement was intended to do. What am I doing? What am I doing through this move? Physical movement, internal work, support the body, use the lower tian. Several things go to the physical movement. Application, slap over here. I can slap over here. Bring this up. There's a nice elbow right there. And potential for grab here. I can split. Grab here, and split. Ouch. As I start to turn, right? 1, 2, 3, set, and up. As I start that, up and around. The timing for that, we need to acknowledge is wrong. This leg sweeps across while you're in the air. It doesn't wait for landing. Similar, this jump, up, right foot is up in the air. Right now my jump is going to be awkward, but I'm going to do it anyway. Brush knee. Landing happens on the left leg, right? So as we come across, that sense of being on that one leg, okay, my timing was off on that as well. That sense of I'm on the one leg, I'm going to land on the one leg, and then I'm going to step. That idea, that intent, comes through the movement. If we walk it, right? Step, up, kick, and step through. We still have that part of that idea that the left leg sustains, up, here, left leg is up, here, I'm still in the air. I don't come down until after the kick. Alright? That timing makes it a little bit more difficult to execute because you need to be able to stay up in the air for the half a second or so. Right now, I'm not ready for that. My body's not ready for that. Can I do a little bit? Was I ever able to do that? Yes, I was. I know how to do that. All right? And getting back to being able to do that is one of my goals. So, as we practice, one of the things, again, and I talked about this before, the idea of paying attention to how you're landing and what you're doing with your feet. As you land, come down through the foot and bounce. It's not bouncy bouncy, it's through the foot. The whole leg takes the landing, not the foot and not the shin. This part of the leg. If you're landing hard, not only is it bad for your knee and bad for your ankle, it's bad for your shin. Hard landing, soft landing. For all of the jumps, we want a solid and soft landing. I'm going to talk a bit more, and we'll do some exercises. I talked about this. We're going to do some exercises that will help to develop the skill to do these jumps. Okay? We have to. I have to. So let me show you just real quick. And this is from dance. Okay? So bend the knees, straighten the knees, up on the toes. Bend the knees, straighten, up on the toes. Down, straight, up. Down, straight, up. Again, let's do it from this side. Bend the knees, straighten, and up. Down, put the heel down, bend the knees, straighten, up, down, up. Work through the leg and through the foot. And you see where it's going, right? Right? 3, down, 1, 2, up, down, up, down, up. 1, 2, 3. Down, come through the leg, and again, bend the knees, up on the toes, push up here. Push up through the leg, bend and jump, bend and jump. Bend the knees, straighten the knees, up on the toes. Bend the knees, straighten the knees, up on the toes. Bend the knees, straighten the knees, up on the toes. Bend the knees and jump. Again, that series, we're going to practice. We just did. I'm going to do a little bit more of this sort of thing because it's what gets us ready. Nobody immediately can jump up in the air and do whatever. Even little kids, they can jump up in the air pretty good, but they're not going to be able to jump up and do whatever. There's some learning process that has to go with. The same holds true for the muscles and the tendons. They need to learn that we can do this. And we're going to tell them. Bend the knees, straighten the knees, up on the toes. Bend the knees, straighten the knees, up on the toes. Bend and up, and down, and up, and down more, and up, down more, and up. 2 more, and then we're going to jump. Ready? Down. 1, 2, 3. Through the foot. It happens quickly. The more we pay attention to the detail, the easier it gets. Again, more practice. The more we practice something, the better we get at it. All right? We can develop that practice. We can lose it. We can bring it back. we can gain practice. We can gain some skills as we practice. That's the point, right? We covered a whole bunch of stuff today. I covered several of the moves at the end of the form, and this idea of the jumps and the turns. I'll be coming back to that with some foundation exercises. The same with leg work. I'll be coming back to that with some foundation exercises as a separate class. So that, again, with this new format that I'm looking to bring in, there will be days when what I've done today is exactly the kind of thing that we're going to do. So we've got a few movements, we're going to take them apart, we're going to work on it, we're going to look at what it takes to develop the skill to do that. How do we get there? Several things that I'm extremely good at, several things that, the jumps, I could use more work, all right? Recognizing that, understanding that matters. That's the only way that you develop anything. You have to know what you can do now. What can I do today? Not the same as what I could do yesterday, and not necessarily the same as what I can do tomorrow. What can I do today? How can I build on what I can do today so that what I do tomorrow or next time is better? What's better mean? Better physical coordination, better breath coordination, better intent, smoother movement, more directed movement, so that my direction of force and my application is clearer. All of those things can always be improved. Doesn't matter. I've been practicing for 40 years. I can certainly improve several things from where I am today. 20 years ago, some things I could do a whole lot better than I can do today. There's a few things that I can do better today than I could even think about 20 years ago, right? Knowing that, knowing what you can do, knowing what your limitations are, matters. How you overcome those limitations. It's not, oh, I'm not going to do this because I can't, so too bad. It's, I can't do this today. How can I adapt what I'm doing so that I can do something today? How do I adapt? Right here, turn the foot, place the foot, place the foot, turn the foot, take the weight, bring it up. Very good adaptation, right? How can I adapt what I can do today so that tomorrow I can gain some improvement, that I can do better tomorrow? This set, turn the foot. If I pay attention to turning the foot from the hip, it's easier to start the turn. I've already opened my hip. If I just try and turn my foot, my hip stays here. Engage the hip. Keep the hip going. Keep coming around. As I turn the hip, turn the waist, turn the upper body, everything carries so that the movement can become smoother. As the movement becomes smoother, it becomes easier to do. As the movement becomes easier to do, we can add another layer, right? So maybe it's my spin versus walking, right? We can add another layer. If I don't understand how to do the turn, the spin is going to happen. If I don't understand what my body is doing as I'm turning, if I don't pay attention to it, it ain't going to happen. Today, maybe it's not so great. We acknowledge that. We say, yeah, today, all right. What did I do well? A couple of things that I did reasonably well. And I made some improvements. And I paid attention to that. So don't try so hard, right? That's one of my faults. I do try really hard to do some things, and it doesn't ever work out really well. Less effort is actually better. Less effort makes your form better. It's not that you don't make the effort, it's how you do that, how you focus, that matters more. Understanding all of this gives us that next step. So what do I need to do to get up in the air, right? 1, 2, 3, and down, and up and down, up and down. And we're going to do this quite a bit. Up and down, jump, jump. Pay attention to that. Place the foot and sink into it. Place the foot and sink into it. We're doing this on 2 legs, so you know, it's easier than trying to do it on one. Right? Yeah, that's going to be a challenge. That's going to be a challenge. We're going to work on it. Building up over time is what we work for. We want to do that. Nobody gets up and does everything perfect every time. Nobody. I don't care who they are. How do we build up so that there's that one time, or that mostly repeatable, right? It's not going to be perfect every time, but we want to be it mostly repeatable. So it can't be just an accident. It has to be thoughtful, has to be intentional. What I'm going to do is intentional. Stand here, one leg, that's intentional. I'm going to bend my knee, that's intentional. Coming up, yeah, maybe. A little bit, it's intentional. Can I make it better? Absolutely. Part of that making it better is the development of the muscles in my leg to do what I'm asking it to do. That doesn't happen by accident. It doesn't happen by understanding. It happens by practice and doing it again and again and again. That's how we get better. We understand what the limitations are. We understand our own limitations. We understand this is a combination, it's not in any order. We understand what the movement is supposed to be. What am I supposed to do? Right? Brush knee, place the heel, transfer the weight, push from the back. Right? It's fairly straightforward. It's fairly easy. If I explain how the weight transfer happens, there's a good chance that most people will be able to do brush knee reasonably well with a few hours of practice. Few. Not a lot, few hours of practice. Reasonably well. You want to get good at it, you need to add more time. More repetitions. Do it more. The same with the jumps. A little bit harder to do. There's a lot of folks that don't jump, have never jumped, have never tried to lift themselves up off the ground, right? And we're going to do something new. Here's this. Okay. How do we develop that strength? Right here. Up and down. The more the better. Keeping in mind what we're trying to accomplish. And that is to develop the skill to jump. To tell your muscles, I'm going up. Right? I'm hopeful. This is it. I'm close class for today. I tend to get long-winded sometimes. These ideas that go behind what we're doing are, my estimation, essential to our practice. If we don't understand what the movement is, how to do it, where it's supposed to go, what the dynamic is, what's the direction, what's the physics behind it, what effort do I need to make, which muscles do I need to engage, how do I coordinate through that move? If I don't pay attention to those things, not going to happen. It's never going to happen. If I do pay attention to those things, might not be today, but as I build up over time, I'll get to a point where I can do it, and then I'll get to a point, keep going, and then I'll get to a point where it's easy. And then I'll get to a point where not only is it easy, but I can start to adjust what I'm doing so that I have additional opportunities for movement through that move, right? So as I set my foot, I have multiple opportunities here to move in which direction. I can set this and step back. I can set it and go forward. I can set it and open. There are many, many opportunities. Understanding that part of our practice gives us, oh, so much more. What can I do today is not the same as what I can do tomorrow. Understanding and knowing that gives us that skill, and it's a skill,功夫, it's a skill, to develop the practice. If we don't know what it's supposed to be, we don't know what we can do, how can we develop anything? Right? Again, I hope today was informative. I hope that this kind of class is going to be not only more useful, but perhaps more thorough. Appreciate you being here. I'll be back with sword tomorrow.